Hello and welcome to my work in finance class. Today's topic is to embrace an entrepreneurship mindset. I very much appreciate your attending today. My name is Andrea and I'll be guiding you through today's class. So I'm always curious, where is everyone calling in from? It just gives me an idea of how our community is growing throughout the world. So if you don't mind, just share in the comments below. I very much appreciate you sharing. As for me, I'm calling in from the US on the east coast of the US in Maryland. Each day, my family and I, we live with 12 healthy habits in order to enjoy a better quality of life, but also to support the success of all that God calls us to do. And because all these things have been so transformative to our lives, I share guidance on both how to implement and stick with each helpful habit so that we can all live truly thriving lives. I'll share more later on about the other videos and workbooks and classes and support groups that I offer throughout the week, but for now, I'd love to go ahead and jump right into today's class. So our goal for today is to embrace an entrepreneurship mindset, to envision life beyond the norm, and to create a business that aligns with our goals. While we're together today, we'll cover types of entrepreneurship. We will look at common startup mistakes. We'll talk about aligning your business with your values and your calling to best help others. And also, we'll talk about creating a business around your schedule and your goals in life. And of course, we'll talk about being successful and making a positive impact. So there are different types of entrepreneurship, but they're all similar in that they're all a way to help us to serve and help others while also creating our own work-life balance. So you could offer a product, different products like cupcakes, t-shirts, or books. You could offer services, things that you do, such as cleaning, hauling, or maybe tutoring. And then within these two areas, you could have online items or in-person items. Online items like digital downloads or maybe like a live or pre-recorded class. Or you could choose to do in-person, where you might need a brick and mortar location, such as a library, your own business location, or perhaps your client's home. So regardless of the type of business, there are some common startup mistakes. So having the wrong motives is a big startup mistake. So some of us might want to come in thinking, well, I don't want to work for the man. But if we really take a second to think about it, with any business, you are going to be working for someone else, whether it be for your client or even for your social media followers. You're working to help and serve somebody. So you're still working for the man, it's just a different man. So another big startup mistake is having a business that's really more self-focused than about serving the people. Without seeing the people, we don't see the need. And if we don't see the need, then how can that business be truly helpful, be truly marketable, and be truly successful? So the best practice then is to be people-focused, to see and meet the need. Another huge startup mistake is not counting the cost. So there's a scripture where Jesus is talking clearly about salvation, and he uses an example because it was obvious even back then. So Jesus actually encourages us to count the cost, lest we be like a man who sets off to build something but can't finish because he didn't count the cost and make sure he had enough to begin with, and now everybody's laughing. So it's interesting though that he would have that scripture as like an obvious, but that's something that still even now we do today. It seems obvious, but sometimes we can just be so excited and just jump right in without really taking time to count the cost. Not just the financial cost, but also the time cost. So yeah, still some side hustles can start without calculating the time much that we would need and how much money would be needed to invest and how much storage space we would need before we begin production and how much space we would need to store our inventory, the fees and the expenses that it would cost to run the business. So by running all these numbers first, businesses can anticipate and avoid the complications. That is a huge, very important step. So please, let's make sure that we are running the numbers first to count the cost. Another big startup mistake is not being prepared for success. So similar to counting the cost, it's really important to know that the business can handle complete success. So if a business owner hopes to make and sell 100 large items from her home for $7 each and wants to earn $700 a week, she'll have to first ask herself, do I really have the time and the space to make that many each week? And even if she can, she has to consider, will that be the quality of life that she's looking for? If not, then she has to have a blow-up plan. So if things were to blow up, if things were to be very successful, for example, setting up a ready-to-implement plan where she already knows which company she can go to both create, house, and to distribute her products for her. That way, if her business were to just take off, she can still maintain good customer service, she can maintain her customer satisfaction, and can easily implement that plan and be ready to receive all that success. So it's helpful to align our gifts with our values as well. So let's reflect on our gifts and our callings to see how we can help. So grab your pen and paper and draw a line down the center on a different sheet of paper. On the top left, write gifts and values. Gifts and values. And on the top right, write schedule and goals. Schedule and goals. All right, so under gifts and values, write the following sentences and fill in the blank. So write, people tell me I'm good at blank. People tell me I'm good at blank. Now write, it's important to me to never offer something that blank. It's important to me to never offer something that blank. So taking those two sentences into consideration, use what you're gifted at to help others in a way that also aligns with your values too. All right, so let's do our best to align our schedule with our goals. So let's consider our ideal schedule and see how much time we can offer to help. So under schedule and goals, write the following sentences and fill in those blanks as well. So write, no matter how busy I get, I always want to have blank, each blank for blank. No matter how busy I get, I always want to have blank, each blank for blank. And this could be that no matter how busy I get, I always want to have 4 hours each night with my family, or 3 hours each week for church, or 2 hours each month for my hair appointment. So now choose creative ways to build your business around your schedule. Find creative ways to be as helpful to as many people as you can within the hours that you have designated. We want to make sure that we keep our prices reasonable, never charging any higher than you or your poorest family member would be able to afford. We want to make sure that we offer good customer service, that we check our emails and respond quickly, be humble and apologize if we have a little error, and give refunds. Retention is important. Make sure that you don't just take their money and run or leave them high and dry. Make sure that you're actually building a relationship and that you can be there for them to help and assist them in the future as well. And make sure that you're adding value. Make sure that whatever you're offering, whatever you're sharing, that it's truly helpful and really adds a great amount of value to people's lives. So you may have noticed earlier that I said that my family and I, we live with 12 healthy habits in order to enjoy a better quality of life. So then work and finance is just one of the 12. We embrace all these healthy habits so that there'll be less bad habits to sabotage our efforts to obey God and more good habits to help support our efforts as we aim to live and do all that Yahweh called us to do. For work and finance, as well as for each one of the 12 habits, I offer guidance via workbooks, videos, classes, and support groups to help you implement and stick with each habit. So if you could use any more guidance with this or any of the 12 habits, I'm here to guide you. And you can find more details on my website, which is trulythrivinglives.org. All right, so I'd love to know, how did you enjoy today's class and what questions do you have for me? You can let me know in the comments below, or if you'd like, you can save your questions for support group or for coaching. Either way, I look forward to supporting you along your journey. All right, thank you again for attending. Have a blessed day.